Before seeing class and object, let me show you an example. Consider a college. Everyone cannot enter the college. Only the student and the staff member can enter the college, or the people who wearing the ID card of that college will get entered. Every student have their own interest. One wants to visit library, one student want to attend the class, one student want to visit the canteen. They can do whatever they need. Every student have different feed you, different attendance and different courses. So every students are unique. College is a class here and the students are the objects here. The student wearing ID cards are the object of the class college. So the student can access library, canteen, attends the lecture according to their wishes. But every student has different datas. Their names are different, their courses are different, their fees due and attendance are different. But the data are same for everyone and the data value is changed for every student. Every student has name, courses, fees due, attendance, but the data are changing here. So let me make a class for our college example. First I type the keyword class, then I name the class as college. Inside this bracket, I have to define the class. Here I have created three variables. The first one is the integer variable, roll number. The second one is the string variable, name. The third one is the float variable, attendance. So these three variables are private in default. If I try to access these variables through the object in the main function, it will throw me an error because these variables are private to this class college. If I want to access these variables, I type the keyword public here and I end it with colon. The variables and functions under this keyword public will be a public data member and public member function. To create an object, first you say the class name, it is college, and then you name your object. I name it as S1. I end it with semicolon. To access the data member through the object, first you say the object name, it is S1, and use dot operator. Then you say the data name. I'm saying roll number. I end it with semicolon. This is how you access a data member. I'm assigning the roll number of S1 to 12. At the end of class definition, you have to end it with semicolon. Let me run the program. So it is not giving me any error. If I remove this keyword public and try running again, it will throw me an error. It says roll number is private. Before all this variable are public. Now I removed the keyword public. So this all three variables are private now. Still I can access this variable through the public member function. So let me type the keyword public again. So whatever member function I use under this public will be public. I have defined a member function get data and I'm defining the function. I'm displaying the message enter your name, roll number and attendance percentage. Using cin statement, I will get the value for name, roll number, attendance. Now I have created two objects for the class college S1 and S2. To access the member function, you first say the object name, then you mention the member function. It is get data. You mention the parenthesis and end it with semicolon. To access the data for second object, you first say the second object name and then you mention the member function. Now I have called the member function which is public to the class. If it is private, I can't call it. It will throw me an error. It is a public member function, so I can call it from the main function. Now I make another public member function display to display the data. Using cout statement, I am printing the name, roll number and attendance. To access this public member function display, first I mention the object name, it is S1, use the dot operator and then you say the function name display and you end it with parenthesis, semicolon. You create the same for S2 object. Let me run the code. First I type the name as Anu, then I enter roll number as 12, then attendance percentage as 78.5. The next name is going to be Raj. His roll number is 13 and attendance percentage is 80.8. hit enter. It display name Anu, roll number 12, attendance percentage 78.5, and same for Raj. These two students have unique data as we see in our example. So here we are accessing the private data members indirectly through the public function. When we call the public function to the object, the public function will get executed. It will access the private data member of the class. The public function is inside the class, so it can access the private data members. So that's how you access the private data members through the public function. You can use the keyword private also, but these three variables are private by default. After this private variable, we are including the keyword public. So whatever member function or member data we type under this keyword public will be public. Constructor is a special method that is called automatically when we create a new object. It is used to initialize the data members of the new object. Here I have created two new objects, S1 and S2. Whenever I create a new object, it will call the constructor and it will initialize the values of the object. The constructor should be public. To call a normal function for an object, it should be public. The same way that the constructor get executed automatically when we create new objects. So it initialize the data member, so it should be public. How you write the constructor? First you say the class name and it is college. Then you give the parenthesis. After the parenthesis, you mention the brackets. Inside the brackets, you can define your constructor. I am initializing the variable roll number to 0, name to null, attendance to 0.0. In the constructor, you can use cin statement to get the value from the user and you can assign it to the data member. In the cout statement, I am printing data members of the object is initialized. So whenever I create a new object, the constructor will initialize these three data members and it will print the cout statement. Here I have created two new objects. It says data member of the object is initialized for 2 times because we have created two new objects here. When I try to print the data members using the member function display, it will print the initialized value. Let me run the code. It print the name as null, roll number as 0 and attendance percentage as 0 and the same for the object 2. So here we initialize the data member of the object using constructor. Destructor is a function called automatically to destroy the object. In other words, it is the last function that is going to be called before an object is destroyed. Creating destructor is similar to creating constructor. The only difference is you mention a tilt symbol before the class name. This is how you create a destructor. First you mention the tilt symbol, then you say the class name, give parenthesis. Inside this bracket, you can define your destructor. In the cout statement, I am saying object deleted. So whenever the last function destructor is called, this will print the cout statement and it will destroy the object. In the main function for the object S1 and S2, I have used the member function display. After executing the member function display for the both objects, the destructor will get executed and the object will be destroyed. Let me run the code. It says object deleted for 2 times. Here the object S1 and S2 are destroyed now. Before the object destroyed, it calls the member function display and then it destroys the object using the destructor. We can do overloading in constructors also. As we see in our travel to Delhi overloading example, we differentiate the two functions with the number of arguments we pass. We follow the same way for the constructor overloading. In this constructor we have no arguments in it. So this is a constructor. So let me create another constructor. I say college. By using this new constructor, I'm going to get the argument from the user in the main class. So let me create a new class, college. So I give the new class name as S3 and inside this parenthesis I am going to pass the value. Before that I just initialize the constructor. So inside this parenthesis of the constructor I give the data type first, then I create a variable int role, and then string name float att. So this value is for attendance. Inside this square bracket I will initialize the member values to this variable values. So I write roll number and I give row, next name equal to name, and attendance equal to att. We have three variables here. Now we pass the argument from the main function for the class S3. First I pass the roll number. The roll number is 33 and the name is Ram, and the attendance percentage is 88.8. Now I use the member function for S3 to display the value. Let me run the code. It first uses the default constructor which has no argument, and then it uses the default constructor again. At last, for the S3 object, we pass the arguments to the constructor and we get name is Ram, roll number 33, attendance percentage is 88.8. So the constructor with no argument is the default constructor. So this is a default constructor. When we give the object name as empty, like this S2, S1, it will call the default constructor with no arguments in it. The parentheses are empty. So it will call this constructor and it will initialize the value according to this. If we pass this argument, it will call this constructor and initialize the value according to the argument we pass, and we finally get the output like